All right. Make some more noise real quick. All right, I'm facing the right way this time. This sucks being blind as hell, man. I did a show last week and nobody clapped at all. I did 15 minutes facing that way. It just goes to show how funny I am. Nobody made any noise for 15 minutes, so I mean, still got paid for it. It's cool. Anybody got kids out there? A couple of them fess up. It's fine. I got 3 kids. My middle son just turned 14. And I've been doing stand-up now for going on 2 years. And since I started doing stand-up, he thinks that everything he says to me now, it has to be a joke. Everything has to be a punchline, and I have to think it's hilarious, or he's failed me as a son or something. And then everything he says to me, he always ends with, "Right, Dad?" I mean, I guess he's just doing staring at me. I can't really see him that well, but he just sense him staring at me. Finally, I'm like, "Yes, son, fine, it's funny." And then just everything. And I'm like, "I'm not going to acknowledge that you're saying anything to me anymore if you end the sentence with 'right, Dad.'" He goes, "Okay, fine." So a little while later, he comes to me and he says something dumb that he watched on a meme or something. And he goes, "Correct, Father?" You got me, you little bastard. You got to hear with that. It's pretty funny. But being visually impaired, there's a lot of things that you guys get to take advantage of that I don't get to. You know, came all the way down from Huntsville, and the other comics were nice enough to come get me from my house and bring me down here. You know, you guys got to drive here on your own. There's a lot of things you get to take advantage of. Probably Pornhub is the thing you guys get to enjoy the most that I don't get to do. You guys get to just look up Pornhub whenever you want to on your phone, not me. I've got to talk to my phone. You know how hard it is to get my grandmother to believe I gave a shit about her green bean casserole this past Christmas when I'm saying Pornhub into my phone in front of her? I'm out of the wheel. Hell, I like porcelain cats as much as the next person. Oh well. Yeah, I was talking to a buddy of mine about that, and he was like, "Well, you know, they make descriptive porn for the visually impaired." And I was like, "You mean like audio snatch?" Hell, why not? So I'm at the house, and I got the strongest reading glasses you can get up at the Dollar Tree. So I got my glasses on, I can kind of see the screen, so I hit the Googles, and I say, Pornhub. It brought it up, guys. So I find the little microphone button, and I hit the microphone, and I say, descriptive porn. A couple of y'all will do it later. It works, trust me. So I click on the first video, and it's like, the scene begins. A large-breasted... Now, first of all, porn star, actress, right? They like to be called actresses, not porn stars, right? Actresses. Anyway, this whore is telling me what's going on in the background while this film's going on. And it's like, the scene begins. A large-breasted Middle Eastern woman is fellating a man. All right. Now, I've been married for 14 years. She's done this way longer than she's obligated to do. They've obviously just started dating. They're doing their relationship. But this goes on for a while, then all of a sudden it's like a second scene. The woman is on all fours, and the man is vigorously thrusting behind her. I'm like, you give him hell, boy. So this goes on for a while, and I've lost complete interest in what I started this venture for. It was like, it started off mildly erotic, but it turned into very fast like your aunt sitting on the other side of the couch reading a Penthouse forum to you. It just wasn't for me. It's pretty rough. I listened to the whole thing. I do have to admit, I listened to the entire video only to see if at the end of it would say, Twatable hopes you enjoyed this presentation. I always wonder not enough people listen to audiobooks but me, but y'all laugh, so I'm going to keep that joke. You ever just randomly click on something? You blur. Have you ever randomly just clicked on a video?
Yes.
I figured you had. Yeah, if you've never done that, never just randomly. First, as soon as Pornhub pops up, just click on something and watch it. Never do that, ever. I had my glasses on. I could kind of see it looked like Blur A was trying to rest their head in Blur B's lap, but they couldn't quite get comfortable. So I was like, hell, why not? So I click on it, and sure enough, Blur A is treating Blur B like they're a pool floaty, and their air nozzle is in their no-no square. Once again, way longer than they were obligated to do. Second scene. Blur B is on their back with the camera like at their feet pointing up. And Blur A is on top of them with their back to the camera. And when I say giving them hell, buddy, I mean, I don't know how much they were getting paid for this, but they were earning it. So this goes on for a while. And Blur B goes, "You like riding on this dick, baby?" I'm like, "You goddamn right they do. Give them hell for me, boy." And then Blur A says, "God, I love when you stroke my cock with your dick up my ass." Oh dear. I'm going to tell y'all right now, if I hadn't been so damn close to finishing, I would have changed that video. I swear I would have. I would have changed it. I mean, come on. How many guys are in here? I can't see you. Make some noise. All right, don't make any noise. Show of hands. Who's watched gay porn in here? Don't make any noise. Show of hands.
You know I have.
See, we've all done it. We've all done it. It's hard. I know you do, Junior. It's fine. Thanks for the links, by the way. It's awkward. But, yeah, like I said, I've been married for 14 years. I love my wife to death. But she's a little impressionable. I say she's impressionable. It's more like she's just hooked on the next big thing, you know. Like when she got pregnant with our daughter, she was born Valentine's Day. She's a Valentine's Day baby. She's a redheaded, blue-eyed, pretty little thing, I've been told. And she starts making these little bitty hair bows. Well, the hair bows are getting bigger and bigger in all these pictures she's taking of the kid. And by Christmas time, the hair bows are bigger than the kid's head. And so I'm like, "Look outside the driveway, wife. I'm visually impaired on disability. I will never have the money to buy you a new Lexus. Where are you going with these big-ass hair bows?" Do they still air that commercial with the Lexus and the big bow on it? Do they still air that, Junior?
I think so.
I haven't watched TV in 7 years. I'm sorry. You had to bear with me. My references are a little off. But she got real big into couponing. And I was proud of her on that one, too. You know, she made her use 3 or 4 of those coupons that 7 months she was doing the couponing. She got real big into that one. You guys heard of Zumba class?
No.
One person's heard of Zumba class. That's cool. My wife loves that shit, boy. She loves that class. Yeah, she goes probably 5-6 times a week to that class. She needs to get out of the house, you know. She works a lot of hours, but we found out that Zumba instructor is a lesbian. Which I don't want y'all to think I'm talking bad about her because she's a lesbian. She's a real good friend of mine. And she's gotten very, very close with my wife. They talk to each other real late at night on the phone and real early in the morning. And, you know, they always say I love you before they hang up. She loves that class, y'all. Yeah, like I said, she goes to that class 5-6 times a week. It's only an hour-long class, and it starts at 9, but she leaves about 7. She says she had to get parking space, you know. And she's gone, you know, 4 or 5 hours at a time to go to it, but it's an hour-long class. But she says, "Well, we're practicing different songs, you know, and dance moves and positions." I don't know what the hell that last part has to do with Zumba, but she loves that class. I know that. It makes her happy. She told me, she said, "You know, I feel kind of cooped up, baby. I just need to get out of the house." Which I understand. You know, I'm visually impaired and I'm goofy as hell. That's a lot to put up with. You got 3 kids, you know. So she tells me, she says, "I think I'm going to go down to the beach in Florida. My cousin's got a beach house down there. It's a real beautiful 2-story, like a log cabin kind of beach house. I've been told, it was described to me. It sounds lovely." But I'm like, "Go ahead and go, baby. That's fine." She said, "I'm going to spend about 5 days down there." And I was like, "Well, that seems a bit much, but go ahead." So she just packs up the car and leaves, right? Packs up the car and leaves. Spends 5 days on the beach in Florida, just her. and that Zumba instructor for 5 days on the beach in Florida. Which is not what you think. I mean, she called me while they were down there. They said they had a real good time. You know, they ate out almost every night. There was several nights they went out there and they had freshly salted clams right there on the beach. She loves that class. Which she said that not this year, but next year, they're saving up. They're going to go to Canada. I was like, man, that sounds like a cool trip. Going to go to Canada. She's like, yeah, there's a town in Newfoundland. Y'all can look this up called Dildo, Newfoundland. And I was like, you're going up there, you're going to spend 5 days up there too? And she's like, well, no, we're probably going to spend about 2 weeks. I said, 2 weeks? She said, well, yeah, Dildo's just too big to take in all at once. You really got to stretch out your vacation. You can just ruin your whole trip. She told me, she said, I don't know why you don't want to come to that Zumba class with me. If nothing else, you can stand in the back row and just watch all of our asses jiggling. I said, baby, taking a blind guy to a Zumba class to watch a bunch of MILFs ass jiggle, that's like taking a kid with no arms to a petting zoo, isn't it? Right, Junior?
Yeah.
That was a callback. Not a good one, it's fine. Yeah, I was, speaking of Moose, my 14-year-old, we were sitting at the house, and I was watching something dumb on TV, and I was sitting in my recliner, and he goes, I want to sit with you, Daddy. I was like, okay, which I probably couldn't tell by looking at me, but my kids aren't small. Moose is 14 years old, he's 5'10" and 220. So he wants to sit in my lap, and I'm like, okay, fine. So he's sitting in my lap, and we're watching TV, and he goes, aren't you glad I'm too old to believe in Santa Claus? I said, I'm sure Santa Claus is glad you're too old to believe in Santa Claus. And he's like, what would you like for Christmas, little boy? And he's like, I think I'm old enough that I just ask Santa what he wants. And I was like, yeah, Santa be like, I want my feeling back in my legs. I want you to realize by next year you're too old for this shit. And then he goes, yeah, what if Santa just got real on this kid when he asked him what he wanted? He's like, yeah, I wish that Mrs. Claus didn't love that Zumba class so much. I wish she wouldn't spend so much time out in the toy shed with those little elves. I don't think that the toys are the only trains getting made out there, if you know what I mean. That's horrible. That's horrible, horrible. All right, that's about all I got right now. I don't want to burn up too much of y'all's show. We got funny people coming up. Welcome back, your host, Junior.